out, and he's alive. And I love the way the Bible is good at telling us that as Lazarus was still alive, he was also still all wrapped up. He was all wrapped up in the funeral bandages, right? He was all wrapped up. I want to let you guys know, when you guys get all wrapped up in the things of life, there's only one place that you're getting ready to go. When you get your family, the people around you, all wrapped up with the things of life, there's only one place you're getting ready to go. The good news is, Jesus wants you to come out of your tomb. Wants you to come out into the light. Stop getting all wrapped up in the things of life. Don't let them hold you down. Don't let them suck the life out of you. But come out. You know, life, if you don't know it by now, I know you've experienced it, but sometimes we need to be reminded. Life has a way of getting you all wrapped up, wound up, turned around, so that you feel like you're not even living anymore. That's the way life is. Sometimes, living life seems like you're just going through a maze, or wrapped through a maze. I remember when my girls and I followed my wife Jean. She goes on quite a few business trips. And one year, it was to Hawaii. Business trip to Hawaii. Woohoo! Let's all go! Right, so we went to Hawaii. She's working, and then I've got the girls all day. So I said, let's drive around. So we're driving around, and we go to the gold plantation in Hawaii. Right? And they have a maze. So we're like, let's go! And we're walking through it. So that's a big maze, right? So it's hard to see where you're supposed to go. And I don't know how long we were in there. We were lost. Do they look lost? Right? We were lost. But I found that when you're lost, when you're confused, after a while, everything looks the same. When you're lost, the one way that you can get out is by listening. Listening to others, listening for direction. And it was great, because some people knew the way. And we would say, hey, where do we go from here? They go, oh, go that way. Go that way. And we would just listen, and it was a lot of fun. It was pretty hard, but it was a lot of fun. Jesus says, stop getting all wrapped up. Stop getting turned around in your life. Listen to my voice. Listen to my voice. Listen to my words. And what did Jesus say to Lazarus? Lazarus, come out. Come out. Let go of all of your wrappings. Don't get so wrapped up. Let it go and come out. There's a character in the Bible from the Old Testament. His name was Ezekiel. Ezekiel was a prophet about 600 BC. He and all of God's people were, well, not all of them, but most of them were taken into slavery. And in slavery, you know, you would think, this is terrible. But that wasn't all for Ezekiel. He loses his wife, so his family's gone, and he's like, God, what's happening to me? Why is all of this happening? And then God comes to Ezekiel and says, that's not all. But now I want you to come work for me. More work? You know, my masters keep me working all day. You want me to work now more? And God says, Ezekiel, I'm going to show you something. And Ezekiel has this vision. He has this vision of God leading him into this valley. And in this valley, what he sees is a whole bunch of just dead bones, right? All dried up. And God says to Ezekiel, Ezekiel, look at these bones. Do they look alive or do they look dead? What do they look like to you? That's not even a question. And Ezekiel, I know there's a lot of sarcastic people in the Bible. When God asked him, do you think these bones can live? Ezekiel's thinking, I don't even see any meat on them. Right? Ezekiel said, well, how do I respond to a question like that from God? He said, God, only you know. Right? That's a good answer, isn't it? Only you know. Oh, good answer. And God says, Ezekiel, here's what I want you to do. I want you to prophesy and tell these bones, you will live. You're going to have life. And Ezekiel's like, oh my God. You know, am I hallucinating? What's happening to my mind? But he hears this and he says, and this is still all part of his vision. He says, okay, I'll do it. And he says, bones, come back to life. And what do you think happens? It says, I prophesied as I had been commanded. I prophesied and suddenly there was a noise. A rattling, and the bones came together. Bone to its bone. Right? It's incredible. And then these people are standing there. And they're standing, but they're not completely alive. And God says, Ezekiel, are these figures that are standing before you, are they alive? And Ezekiel says, they look human, but they're not breathing. And God says, well, here's another command. I want you now to command the winds to come into them and let them breathe. And Ezekiel says, whatever. Whatever, God. Like I can command the winds. But because God's saying it, what does Ezekiel do? He says, I command the winds. Come and give these human-like things life. And what do you think happens? The winds come and brings life to these body-like things. And God reminds Ezekiel in his vision. He says, you see this? I want you to see this because this is where my people are. They are like bones, dried up, without life, without hope. And I want you to go to them to give life, to give hope. I really believe that that is what all of us are called to do. To give life, to give hope, to give God glory. I know that many of us feel like we are inadequate. What do I have that God could possibly use me? I am so bad at this. Or I am so bad at that. What could I possibly do? You know, there's a movie called Simon Birch. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. It's a movie about a little boy who was born very small. He was so small, he barely came up to all of his age kids, up to their head. Barely, if up to their head. His parents, when he was born, saw that he had physical challenges, and they didn't care to take care of him. Other kids would make fun of him. The townspeople would make little comments to him. But here's the thing. Simon knew that he was destined to do something great. Life has a way of making us feel small and insignificant. Making us feel like Simon Birch. That's what life does to us so many times. But Simon doesn't let go. He continues to struggle with God and says, I know God's got something for me. And that's what he keeps telling his friend. And one day, something incredibly terrible happens. Something terrible. It's just another terrible thing that was happening on top of the other terrible things that were happening in Simon Birch's life. So let's see what happens. What happens in the rest of that scene, what do you guys think happens? Yeah. Simon Birch gets all the kids out of the bus. There's actually some tragic things in there too. If you get a chance to watch this movie, do so there. Something terrible happens in Simon's life. And I will bet many times in our life, we experience something terrible. And we may start to question what's happening in our life. I want to let you guys know that when something terrible is happening, when something you don't understand is happening, it is an opportunity for you to give life to others. It is. Right? Simon Birch could have panicked like the rest of the kids. But he sees that opportunity as an opportunity to give life, as an opportunity to fulfill his destiny, to give God glory. And I want to invite you guys in your life to continue to seek God, to give life to others, give glory to God, and you will see how God is truly present in your life and working for good. Amen? Let's have a word of prayer.